In Bruges is the 2008 debut film from the director of 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Martin McDonagh. It also just happens to be one of my own personal favourite movies. There are many incredibly written and beautifully acted scenes in the film, with Colin Farrell giving a career best performance. But there is one scene in particular that I want to talk about. I just want to highlight what it means to me on a personal level and demonstrate why I connect with it so much. These are purely my own subjective reasoning, and if you wish to read something entirely different from the film, then I certainly wouldn't deny you the right to do so. I should probably tell you at this point that from here on out there will be spoilers, so if you don't want to know what happens, you might want to return to this video at a later date. Still with me? Then I'll continue. The scene I want to look at takes place in the final stretch of the film. Hitmen Ray, played by Farrell, and Ken, played by Brendan Gleeson, have been hiding out in Bruges after Ray accidentally kills a child whilst on his very first job. Unbeknownst to Ray, Ken has been ordered by their boss, Harry, played by Ralph Fiennes, to kill him. Apparently, even hitmen have a moral code whereby the killing of a child is punishable by death. However, seeing just how racked with guilt Ray is for having killed the child, Ken takes pity on him and allows him to leave Bruges unharmed, while he faces the consequences of disobedience. But when Ray is forced to return to Bruges, he is caught in the crosshairs of Harry, who is now determined to punish him for his sins. Which brings us to the scene in question. In order to alert Ray of the danger he is in, Ken sacrifices himself by jumping from the cathedral rooftop, essentially trading his life so that Ray might live. Despite all the evil deeds that Ken has committed in his life as a hitman, it is in this one act that he demonstrates the greatest love that one is able. For as Jesus says, there is no greater love than to lay down one's life for one's friends. Obviously, the idea of sacrifice is prevalent throughout the Bible. The idea is born from the reality that the wages of sin is death. Therefore, we owe God our very lives. This is the only price that can make us right with Him, unless, of course, someone greater than us, one without sin, would die in our place. Well, of course, that's precisely what happened when Jesus went to the cross. Ultimately, Ken's sacrifice is not enough to pay the price that is required to save Ray's life, let alone his very soul. After all, how can the life of a sinful man pay for the debt accrued by the sin of another? And so, in the end, Ray takes the bullet from Harry. Now, I know we never actually see Ray die at the end. It could go either way. But the point is, while Ken's sacrifice demonstrated the greatest form of love, it is not enough to wipe the slate clean for Ray. There is only one who can truly wipe that slate clean. And the reason he is able is because he is without sin. His name is Jesus Christ, and even if our sins aren't on the scale of Ray and Ken, we still need him to wipe our slate clean. But he will never force redemption and salvation upon us. We need to be willing to accept it. Otherwise, like Ray, we may find ourselves trapped under the weight of our own guilt. So the real question is, are you willing to put your trust in Jesus as the one who is able to wipe your slate clean?